Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's see, what do these tea leaves have to say today? And I said tonight at the beginning, and it is daytime. So I usually read late at night. So the days that I can read during the day, I get a little confused about what time is it really. And I only really mention it because there are ambient sounds outside. It can be a little loud. Oh, and there's Pudgy singing his song. There was a ladybug in the house that he's been kind of after, and now I think he's singing a sorrowful song because he can't find his little friend. Don't tell him, but I put it outside. Okay, and so our card is the Knight of Wands. Did I say that? Maybe I didn't. But the Knight of Wands, and this has this is such a powerful card. You know, there's just a sense of potential, okay? Really putting to use your passions, your abilities, feeling very in sync with the creative force that kind of burns through you, right? And so really anything can be. I think you're also very open to inspiration, receiving the love and word and gifts. I mean, it's just everything, right? All of the beautiful, the hard, the ugly, all of these things are given to us from the universe, from the divine, okay? And it's really always about, what are you going to do with it? So when we are under this this energy of the Knight of Wands, I know that you're going to do something beautiful, something worthwhile. And let's take a look. We have here, it looks like a person, almost like a mountain. Really this kind of imagery of, no, that thing is not up here, sir. That ladybug went outside. Okay. So almost that kind of Earth Mother Gaia energy, okay? We have the head, almost like a dress, body, the big mountain, okay? And here it looks like we have maybe a child, okay? So I really feel that you are fostering your potential. You are focused on your abilities and your gratitude for the gifts the universe is giving you. The gratitude, appreciation, even in troubles. This is kind of the key to unlocking so much for ourselves. If we go through life with a bad attitude, with a, you know, kind of always worried about what we didn't get, what was taken from us, you know, what didn't align to be in our life, and so on, we really become so absorbed in that. That is kind of the configuration that we stay in. It really does infect every aspect of our being. Now, are there going to be times when, you know, there's loss, grief, feeling bad about, you know, an opportunity missed? Of course. That is only natural, and we should feel the way that we feel. But what I'm talking about is kind of just existing in that alignment, making that part of your persona, your personality. It really does, it colors the way that you experience the world, the universe, your life, your internal life. And so when we get into a place where we can look for the silver lining, okay, we can look for gratitude, you know, and sometimes this doesn't come naturally. This is something that has to be practiced. That's why we have so many, you know, techniques that are around the gratitude, giving thanks, you know, taking time to consider, contemplate these things, because, you know, it's easy to get busy, to get lost in the flow of things, and you don't necessarily think about the gratitude aspect, right? You know, every time I go and look at like journals or anything, you always see there's a whole bunch of gratitude journals and stuff like this. And, you know, I think that it is an excellent tool. Now, you don't have to have like a journal just for gratitude, of course. You could write it on a piece of paper. You can just say it out loud, whatever it is. But to get into the practice of thinking about a few things every day. What are you grateful for? You know, or if you eat dinner with your family, eat a meal with your family, you know, just kind of doing the highs and lows of the day, or things that you're grateful about, you know, grateful for, and things that you learned, you know. This is a good practice to get into. Because it kind of retrains your brain to actually look and receive the blessings, okay? And so in this, I feel that there is a wholeness, there is truly caring for yourself, caring for that inner child, caring for the places where you feel like you are wanting, you know, being that kind of warm hug, that reassurance, and that is very healing. You know, that really puts you in a place of feeling all together in a way. This is another thing that takes a lot of practice, showing up for yourself, that loving self-talk, radical self-love, okay? Sometimes it's hard to do that directly. Sometimes it's easier to think about ourselves in different parts, different archetypes. We think about our child self as something, it is a part of us, but maybe it feels a little bit separate. And so talking to that inner child as you would any other child becomes helpful. Because it maybe doesn't seem so silly, you know, or you might have a little bit less resistance. I know it's hard to talk yourself up, to be there for yourself at times, especially when you feel like you've made a mistake, or you're feeling ashamed, or, you know, something has kind of, you know, an emotion has really taken over. But when you kind of think about it in a way that, okay, I'm going to talk to my inner child here. I'm going to, you know, tell myself, my child, this child of mine, that everything's okay. We make mistakes sometimes, you know, we have to try better next time, you know, and if you've hurt somebody, then you take accountability and you make amends. And, you know, just talking to yourself in this way, being loving, being open, being, you know, trying to take out the judgmental part, you know, because you wouldn't be judgmental to a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, would you? You know, they don't understand the power of their actions and their words yet. So as we are healing ourselves, we have to kind of raise aspects of our being. And sometimes it's helpful to do that in this kind of almost role play or visualization, acting it out a little bit, you know, and you might find that really helpful. Okay. Now let's turn this. We have another person here, and if you can see, it kind of looks like the side of their face, the nose, and to me it looks like somebody who is maybe wearing like a hat or like a samurai kind of thing. And I feel like you are very much in that warrior place in your heart. There's that fire, right? You are really advocating for yourself where you need to. You are really in that flow. I think that you are kind of so focused on these beautiful things that are happening in your life, even if some of them are difficult, that there's really, you're not concerned with what other people are doing. You are navigating the world for yourself. There's also a sense of like falling out of a place of competition, right? You're not comparing yourself to the neighbors. You're not worried about what your brother-in-law just bought, or some person you went to high school with, or whatever they're posting on the internet. You're just kind of doing your own thing. You are your only competition. You are the only person that matters as far as opinion, right? And so I think that you are just very much into your growth. If you can imagine the life of a warrior, and not necessarily one that is constantly at war, but navigating, kind of living in this in-between place, not unlike I talk about the crone archetype, the holy person, the magician. These are archetypes that live kind of on the fringe of society. Well, so do the warriors, right? They have duties that involve the tribe, involve the community, involve the collective, but they are very much kind of outside of the mass, right? They have a different perspective about things. They're maybe more vigilant about the happenings and that are happening, within circumstances and scenarios. They're looking at variables, thinking about how to move through them, and safety ultimately. So I think about this idea of like moving like water, being very fluid, flexible, and I think that this is a big energy. This is not unlike fire, not unlike that, that burning source of the creative, of they would call the sexual force of the universe, the thing that procreates and creates and whatever. But this is a place of, as a warrior, I would say, I'm not a warrior, really. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not in training, right? It is kind of your duty to get through as many situations as you can for as much of your life as possible without having a direct conflict, without getting into, an actual physical altercation, without having to, activate that training that you have. But you do always live in that mindset of trying to move through situations with awareness and being ready, okay? And so I feel like this really, this is a real big part of how you exist. I feel that you are, Scorpio, a natural warrior. I think that when this is uncultivated, you can find yourself in a lot of turmoil, conflicts, arguments, getting in fights with your friends, family, community. But I don't feel like there is a draw towards that. This is just when we have, you know, more of like the rough, what they would call the rough ashlar, right? The unrefined stone. But through the work that you do, you are finding your flow. You are becoming that water, okay? And so I see that this is a great time of peace. And like I said, you are not worried about what other people are doing. You are focused on what you are doing, what you want, what you need, what your next motions will be. There's a lot of intention here, and this is more of a natural state for you than anything else. And I love seeing that. I do. Okay. And so I see we have a couple of, we have this one here where it looks like a person kind of in a posture of prayer. We also have a person here who looks like they're kind of on their knees praying. And so I really do feel this is a time of appreciation, the gratitude, but also relating to those spiritual streams of consciousness, of the divine, maybe actual prayer, meditation, making appeals, whatever that looks like to you, okay? There's no right or wrong way to do it, but I do think that going through kind of the ritual of something akin to prayer, if not prayer itself, is also very helpful for you. It puts you in a place of I mean, speaking your ultimate truth, right? And feeling very much in tune with something greater than yourself. And that is a powerful, powerful feeling. That is a transformative feeling. Okay. So I think that it is definitely a wonderful time to be kind of activating those techniques. Okay. And then we have here, we have a little sailboat. So it seems to me that you will be taking a bit of a trip. And I also see another sailboat up here. Now, these are in the emotional zone. So I kind of really feel like this is going to be something very profound for you. I wonder if you are going to see something, like maybe taking a little bit of a day trip to go see something, maybe a natural wonder. Maybe you're going to another city to see like a museum or a sacred site, doing something. I'll tell you, one of my big goals coming up here is I want to go pick apples and go find a nice apple orchard. So that might be my little divine voyage in these next couple of weeks, as it is apple season. Okay. So we just have this kind of little happy face here. Not too happy, but happy, right? Content. So I feel like it's really important for you to really kind of celebrate the evolution that you've had in this last couple of years. I think that it's easy to look at, you know, the last few months. Maybe you've had a couple of things change. At times you felt like maybe you faltered a little bit. That happens, okay? That's part of the process. It's part of being alive, isn't it? And so I think that it is important for you to take a few moments to look back over a more expansive time and really just consider how you've changed, what things you've kept intact for yourself. And really, I think, you know, to appreciate not only the divine, not only the universe, but yourself. Because you have done so much work, Scorpio. You have, you know, you've been very brave. You have confronted some things. You have, you know, where you have maybe had troubles or felt, you know, you've had maybe some behaviors or situations where you may be in the wrong a little bit, but you have, you know, taken responsibility. And I think that this is a big part of growth, okay? And now looking back on that, really telling yourself you've done a good job, okay? Try not to critique the other things, though. Don't get in there and say, well, I need to change this and this and that's not what this exercise is for. I want you to look at the things that have gone well, okay? The things that you're proud of. Okay, so we have the lightness of being affirmation cards. And we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, serenity. Practice the art of receiving abundance. See through your denial. And I think that's literally what I was just saying. We have this thing that we do where it's like, oh, I've done this and this, and it's, you know, I've really grown, I've learned a lot, but, and then, you know, interject whatever little thing or big thing or whatever. You don't need to negate your forward movement, your growth, your evolution with other things. Sometimes we just got to look at the positives, okay? And I'm not saying to not ever look at that other stuff. Of course, we have to. As we are trying to heal and grow and so on. But, you know, at other times we really do, we need to allow ourselves to feel good, to see what we have done, where we have been, where we are now. Okay, so I'm going to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. And as we know, the algorithm kind of decides everything about everything about everything. And we like to give it what it wants through engagement. Things like liking the video, watching the video from the beginning to the end, sharing the readings on other social media platforms. Of course, you don't have to do any of these things, but I like to mention them in case you are interested in supporting the channel in some way, and these are some of the best ways to do that. Other than that, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that, and you can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read all of them. I reply back to all of them. Sometimes it takes me a day or two, but I will get to them. I promise. Okay, Scorpio, I thank you so much. It is such an honor, and we'll talk in just a few days here. So I love you. Have a beautiful rest of the week, or whenever you're watching this. Maybe it's the weekend. I don't know. Have some beautiful days ahead. Okay. Thank you.